So today is not as random. It's not as random. And just talk about something that's on my mind that I've gone through in the past that I don't want to go through ever again. And something that I will admit in the past, I didn't do as much because I was in situations and I trusted the person so much that I just didn't want to believe. I trusted the person so much that I just didn't want to believe that they would do certain things, or I didn't see certain signs, or I didn't really see certain things that the person was doing. But now that I'm older and I've already got my battle scars from dealing with bull crap, I legitimately am now at the point that if you fool me one time, you might get a pass for it, because it might not have been intentional that you did or said whatever the hell it is that you did towards me. You might have just made a mistake and just thought maybe I ain't catch it. The second time, if I'm admitting this about myself, I have a tendency to want to see the best in people. The second time that a person blatantly lies to me, I'm gonna be 100% with you. I start losing respect for the person, because to me, I take it as a form of disrespect. You don't respect me enough to tell me the truth. You don't respect me enough to tell me the truth. You don't respect me enough to treat me like a human. Get to the third time that you done lied to me, and it's something you lying to me about that is small, chances are, at this point, everything you say to me, almost everything that you're doing towards me, if it's something that I know is just not real, or you just saying it for the sake of saying it to me, trust and believe, I might not say nothing to you about it immediately. I might not ever say something to you about it, but chances are I really will just listen to you, whatever it is you're saying to me at this point, with a grain of salt, because I can see that you're capable of lying to me about something small. So goodness, Lord forbid, something big comes up. Trust and believe, chances are now I'm going to think that you're just going to lie to me. And the real sad part with this, and this is me actually showing how I am as a person when it comes to stuff like that. Honestly, I don't like being in situations where I know for a fact a person is trying to make me second guess myself and my own thought process. Now, I can get it if somebody's giving me creative criticism, they're trying to give me constructive criticism, they're trying to tell me something or enlighten me on some aspect of some situation or give me knowledge. But trust and believe, if a person lies to me repeatedly and I can actually prove that they lying to me, chances are they done lost a part of me in conversation that it's going to be real hard to even try to get back. And I feel, a lot of times I feel bad about this because I can feel it when it's happening. I can feel it deep down that there is going to be a situation in which now I don't know if I can trust this person anymore. And those are those situations that I don't like in life. That fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, and then to fool me third time, if I accept that foolery, that's a shame on me. Because I done been already given every type of aspect of proof or aspect of factual information to let me know, hey, this person is not trustworthy. Hey, this person will lie to you. Hey, this person will disrespect you. Hey, this person don't care about how they make you feel in the aspect of the things that they're doing towards you mentally, physically, or emotionally. Now, at that point, when we get to that fool me twice, and I done still sat there and just accepted it and been naive, that's a shame on me. And I know a lot of times I don't really go there and talk about stuff like this, but I'm actually holding myself accountable, because I know deep down when it comes to things like this, I don't deserve it and I don't want nothing to do with it. So half the time, if I start feeling like, or I get the hint that, or I have the little essence of feeling like something is not quite right, I have a few options that I take for my own personal safety, my own personal mental health. If I start really truly believing that something is going wrong, chances are there's something to it. And I learned this from facts. There are a list of things, and I really am the type of person, like a co-worker, a classmate, whatever. It could just be a random person. If something that they're saying too. Sometimes I know people like exaggerating, or they'll tell you something, or they'll try to shield you from things, or they'll tell the pretty little white lie, or whatever it is that they choose to do. But this is the thing with me. I genuinely get frustrated and irritated whenever I know for a fact, or I can actually prove my case, when something don't add up. And it bothers me deeply to my core because of the type of person that I actually am. And this is the reason why a lot of times people will say, oh, you pretty or whatever, or you seem like a nice person, or all this other stuff. These things may be true. But also deep down, I know myself very well. There are a few things that actually do trigger me not to actually be as friendly or nice in certain circumstances. One of them is when I know for a fact I'm being gaslighted, or I am flat out being lied to. These are those moments that really genuinely hit me to my core, that really upset me, because trust and believe, if I have someone that I speak to, or I take my time to speak to, and I didn't actually gave my time to them, they are important to me. So it is very hurtful to be in a situation where one of those people does or says something that I know that if it was someone else, I would have immediately called them out on their crap. Immediately. But usually things are not that simple when you are invested, you care, they're your friend, you don't want to hurt their feelings, you don't want to have an argument. Usually those are those moments for me personally that really drive me up the wall, because I feel like it is legitimately something that should not happen. And if it does happen and I do try to address it, the worst thing to ever do is to lie. And I must say this because I'm just having that sip the tea moment, that I'm actually owning up to my personality and the fact that certain things really cut me to my core. I don't like it to be in a situation where I feel as though someone is basically asking me to numb out my intelligence to believe a lie. And that is something that I figured I would just chime in real quick. And just chime in real quick, and just ask, because I know a few of y'all older than me, a few of y'all younger than me. There's a variety of y'all out there, and you can tell me how you deal with situations like this. And this is the thing that actually trips me out. I don't have very many friends, but the ones that I do have, they mean a lot. But the ones that I do have, they mean a lot to me. And the reason why they mean a lot to me is because I've placed my own mind on this person. I really enjoyed it talking to them. I really appreciate them as a person. I appreciate being around them. And it hurts to feel like whatever connection or established rapport that was there is being poo-pooed on by something petty. And I know this is probably coming off as me just ranting, but the truth of the matter is I figured I would actually show this other part of where it is that I'm coming from sometimes, so that a few of y'all can get that visual or that mental image of, no, it's not always sunshine and candy and whatever with me. Occasionally I do have my moments where somebody does or says something and it really does get under my skin a bit because of who they are to me, because of the level of attachment that I've placed on this person, the pedestal that I've somewhat put them on, the fact that they mean something to me is what makes it more offensive. And I don't know if that happens with y'all or not, but in my case, I just know it's something that I'm working on. If I know deep down, or if I visually have a reason, like a factual reason, something that I can actually go, what the hell is this? Usually by that point, I've already sat there and tried to overlook a long list of things before I actually open my mouth and say something. And that's intelligence. And I remove myself and my emotions from the situation. Chances are I can just leave it alone and let it go. But what I've learned and what I've been learning over the past 5 years is that behavior is something I need to unlearn, and that it's okay to just confront someone with their BS. And honestly, that's something that I'm finding myself in conflict with, because I don't like having that type of a situation because of the way that I am as a person. I have in the past decided to just cut someone off because of the fact that I don't even take that risk anymore. That's the type of person that I ended up being after being hurt too many times. I would prefer to just cut someone off than to deal with the drama or the messiness of having to sit there and be Inspector Gadget or Sherlock Holmes or someone who flat out, I'm not looking for it, but you're putting it on my plate and I'm supposed to pretend it's not there. Now that right there is the type of mess that actually is what would drive me up the wall, and does. If I'm in a situation where somebody is flat out telling me that something is black and it's clearly not black, but they're expecting me to say that it is, but they don't expect that from anyone else, it legitimately will start causing me as an individual person to feel some kind of way in dealing with that person. And this is me actually saying a blanket statement. This isn't just a relationship or a friendship or an acquaintance or associate. This is whoever comes at me like that. It really does bother me, because it's like there are varying levels of BS that I'm willing to tolerate and deal with, just because some situations I don't need to get all that emotionally invested in. I don't have to care like that. But if you are someone who is close to me, and I know for a fact that if it was reversed, you would go off on me, this is where I'll start actually feeling uncomfortable, or I'll start feeling as if I'm being mistreated in a way that shouldn't be happening. I don't expect a person to be perfect. I don't expect someone not to make mistakes. There's a list of stuff that I do not have expectations of, which is why I don't get disappointed as I used to in the past when I was younger. Because I will admit, the younger version of me would have high expectations of people, would expect a long list of things, would kind of be wanting that somewhat perfect situation to be going on. But I am older now. I have learned from my mistakes, and I don't expect perfection. But what I do want, and that's the word, what I would want and I would like, is to have people in my life who actually respect me as a person enough to tell me the truth and to treat me with respect. And respect is something that's earned. And for the most part, from what I know, and in most of the situations that I've been in, with the people that I consider my friend and I talk to, I go out my way. And for the most part, I will bend over backwards regardless of my situation, to try to make sure somebody else is okay. Which is why sometimes it cuts me deeply if I ask for some type of help, or if I do finally admit something is causing me a problem and I open up. It hurts really bad when I feel as though the moment I do that, I get a knife in my back. The moment that I open up and I tell someone a vulnerability, it is used against me. These are the types of things that I think lead up to having a toxic friendship, toxic relationship, toxic family situation. Those are the things that become toxic. And I recognize them, unfortunately, because of things I've already dealt with. And I am owning up to the fact that I'm holding myself accountable for not being ignorant, not being blind, and not being naive. So I figured I would actually talk about that aspect of what I feel like, because all too often I don't really go. All right. So back to where I was, and not to make this a whole poo-poo parade, understanding or let someone else know, hey, I feel these types of things too. It really is something that I'm just being open about, because the more transparent I am about certain things, the less stress I have. So I have been learning to be a little bit more forceful emotions about my own feelings and my own personal bubble, because sometimes there really is a line that needs to get drawn, that you need to let someone know, hey, I care, I appreciate your time, I like being around you, but these are things I'm not going to accept you doing to me. And there is honestly nothing wrong with that. And that's something that I've had to learn, honestly. And this is me just being very open about that. I was once in the past someone who cared so much about not hurting someone's feelings that I was stupid enough to allow someone to hurt mine. Chances are they didn't really know it, because I was good with keeping my feelings inside. But now that I have gone through a lot, I know that that's not healthy behavior for myself. I do have a right to feel what I feel myself and to protect myself against things that would cause me to have emotional, mental, or physical pain. So I'm saying this just in case there's another person out there who's going through some stuff. You're bottling it up. You're dealing with it in a way that's causing you grief. Just know, if someone is actually for you, they care about you, they really love you and respect you as a friend, a lover, or whatever, they're going to respect your boundaries. They're going to respect how you feel. They're going to at least listen to you, even if they disagree. And this is something that you are able to do with people who you're safe around. Honestly, there's this part of me that is grateful for all of the things I've gone through, because now it has helped me to recognize a lot of the things that were just not quite right in my own personality, in my own way of thinking, to the point that now I feel a lot more relaxed. I feel a lot more free to just let stuff out, versus in the past where I honestly say there was a lot of emotional grief and turmoil that came from me not actually flat out standing up for myself when I should have, or me flat out not taking my own emotions into account and trying to be polite and kind to someone, because I'm thinking if I say the wrong thing, if I do the wrong thing, they're going to get upset with me, cause a big problem, if this isn't necessary. All these list of things that I once thought, and now because of the fact that I've gone through the things that I have, I know better. So now I'm in a position that thankfully I'm starting to heal, and I'm starting to actually take more time for myself. Whenever I do feel uncomfortable, or I feel as though it's something that's not worth me actually saying anything about, the best thing for me to do in those situations is to deal with the one part of the situation that I can actually have some control over, and that's deal with myself, my own, deal with what it is that I allow someone else to say and do to me. Because if I let someone else hurt me and I don't stand up for myself, That's as if I'm co-signing off on the pain that they're causing. That's just me giving them the okay to keep doing it. And honestly, at the end of the day, they're not going to live my life for me.